Next is the deputy principal in the process of curriculum management in a school, in terms of what are the responsibilities or core duties of the deputy principal when we look into the process of curriculum management. The deputy principal is expected to ensure that he monitors the HOD monitoring of teachers' preparedness to teach the lessons in the classroom according to the ATP, and this should happen possibly on a fortnight basis to make sure that HODs are being checked if they are checking the teachers' preparedness in terms of them delivering the lessons. Because if that is not happening, you will find that you only discover that less work has been covered or has been taught in the class, but you took time to discover that because there's never been any monitoring of that process, whether it is taking place or not. And secondly, in terms of the responsibility of the responsibilities of the deputy principal is to ensure that he reports on the progress towards the syllabus or the attainment of the content that is supposed to be taught in the subject. Okay, so he is supposed to report on the progress that is being made, and that report is something that is supposed to be formalized and made available to the principal on monthly basis. Okay, so the expectation is that on monthly basis, the deputy principal should compile a report that speaks to the coverage of the curriculum in the school, right? And fourthly, it's about monitoring the implementation of the school assessment plans. All right. Again, it's also about ensuring that he monitors the internal moderation processes and track the learner performance in order to ensure that there is remediation that is taking place. So that is the responsibility of the deputy principal, to monitor such processes. If we have assessment plans that are written but not being monitored, whether they are implemented or not, it is not going to be assisting the school at any rate. So it is very important that such things are being monitored, and there should be a summary of report that speaks to the issue of how much work has been so far covered when it comes to the assessment plan in all the subjects that are being offered in different grades in a school. And this particular information should be made available or readily available on monthly basis. And the next one is about the implementation of the intervention in a school. Okay, you would find that sometimes, based on the performance of the learners, it might happen that there is a need for teachers and the HODs to develop an intervention of some kind to see a situation whereby learner performance is improved. So it is the responsibility of the deputy principal to ensure that such things are happening, and there should be a report that speaks on the implementation of the intervention plans, and those intervention plans are directed or aimed at improving the learner performance. And that particular report that speaks to the implementation of interventions should be compiled and be submitted to the principal on monthly basis by the deputy principal. So that is the other responsibility of the deputy principal in the process of curriculum management. And the next one, it's about to request subject support from the district if ever there's a need for that. If it happens that the HOD and the teachers are struggling on how to teach a certain concept or topic in the classroom, it is the responsibility of the deputy principal to ensure that he or she contacts the subject advisor at the district level so that they are invited to come and assist in terms of that what is not clear, right? So that is going to be happening based on the needs of the school. We can't clearly indicate as to when should that happen, but if there's a need for something like that, the deputy principal is going to determine that, to say now it is time for us to ask for intervention in terms of the problem that we are having. Then the last important responsibility when it comes to the deputy principal in this process of curriculum management is to ensure that we have meetings with HODs, okay, in terms of the curriculum management process at school. So there should be meetings that are aimed at providing direction to all the HODs in terms of how curriculum is being headed. That is where in this forum of this nature, if there are problems, they will be discussed there by the deputy principal and the HODs. And this kind of a meeting can happen as need arises, okay, or twice or once per term. It will depend on the situation of the school. If you are enjoying the video and you want to see your school being successful when it comes to this process of curriculum management, I invite you to remain seated, because I still have more strategies and more information to share in terms of how we can implement curriculum management processes in our schools to ensure the maximum performance of our learners. The last structure in the process of curriculum management in a school is about the principal. The principal is also one of the core persons that are important in as far as managing curriculum is concerned. The principal should make sure that they check the deputy principal's monitoring of the ATP in terms of what is being taught at the school, and he or she should make sure that they check the implementation of all those plans in all the grades and all the subjects at the school. And secondly, in terms of the responsibilities of the principal, is to make sure that he or she monitor and provide support for the implementation of interventions planned to enhance the learner performance in all grades. So it is the responsibility of the principal to monitor and provide, as well as support the implementation of those interventions, which we have made reference to in the previous instances of this particular video. And there should be a report which is compiled on the implementation and the impact of those interventions that have been planned. And this particular report should be submitted to the IDSO of the school on quarterly basis by the principal in terms of how the progress has unfolded when it comes to curriculum management, right? The next point is about to set and advocate subject targets and monitor achievement against the targets. That is the responsibility of the principal, that they should be a situation whereby they make sure that there are targets that are set per subject, and those targets will be set based on how the school has performed in the past, and then you look at the current academic year, and then you set your targets in terms of what is it that you want to achieve, how do you project the learners' progress. And what is also important, it's also to look at the provincial targets and the national targets, so that as and when you set your targets, they should be aligned to those targets that we have nationally and provincially. And those targets, it's something that should also be contained in the report that the principal is going to compile, which will be submitted to the IDSO on a quarterly basis. And then thirdly, in terms of the responsibilities of the principal in the process of curriculum management, it's about sometimes you expect the principal to request for an advice or intervention from the IDSO based on the need of the school or needs of the school, all right? So the principal should see to it that if there is a need for that to take place, the IDSO is contacted in order to assist in the process of ensuring that there's optimal delivery of curriculum in the school, right? Then the next one, in terms of the responsibilities of the principal, is to make sure that he or she conducts SMT meetings to provide direction in terms of curriculum management. So it is expected that the principal of the school should conduct such meetings particularly aimed at zooming into the progress that is being made when it comes to curriculum management. It shouldn't be that it is only discovered very late that some of the content or some of the teachers are not teaching, or some of the learners are not being taught because there is no teacher. So if there is something like that, it is something that is going to be discussed at the level of the SMT meetings, and then they decide on what should be done to ensure that there's effective curriculum management at the school. And lastly is to ensure that he conducts meetings with the SGB and the parents to give them feedback on the academic achievements of the school. It is now time for me to wrap up everything, but before I can do that, I would like to invite you to comment below in terms of how do you manage curriculum in your institution. I think it is important for us to share common good practices that we implement in our institutions to guarantee the maximum success when it comes to academic performance of our learners. Thank you very much. We have enjoyed being with you today in this particular video. We are likely to see you in future. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button so that whenever we release new videos in future, you can get a notification. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.